I, Shamus McFiernan, have been a long-time RPG fan. There has been much debate as to who is the biggest RPG badass. Well, goody for those of you who have asked that question, I've come here to answer it. Kane Highwind is one of the main characters in Final Fantasy IV. He was the first one to join Cecil on his quest to the Village of Mist. He was also the first one to make Cecil look like a lame ass. You see, when I played it, Cecil didn't have Dark Wave. He had nothing. He had the attack command. Kane, on the other hand, he had jump, which instantly made him cool. He leapt out of frame and came back in, did about 2 or 3 times as much damage as normal, making him an official badass in my book. Another thing Kane is known for is his betrayal in Final Fantasy IV.
Kane, even you now?
Let me ease your suffering.
When you're a kid, betrayal doesn't really factor in. In fact, I think the closest thing is maybe, I don't know, the prize in your Captain Crunch box is missing. Maybe it happened May 12th, 1992. Better watch your ass, Nikki. For those of you not savvy of the plot, I'll go ahead and give you a quick rundown. You have the character, Cecil Harvey, Kane Highwind. They have just left the Kingdom of Baron to make a delivery to the Village of Mist. The item of which they're delivering is the bomb ring. Which, now that I'm thinking about it, bomb ring? How did they not know what that did? I wonder how that conversation went down.
So, Cecil, what do you think this bomb ring does?
Well, Kane, I'm not entirely sure, but let's use our understanding of the English language to unravel this mystery. Bomb. Being a phrase created in the mid-90s, indicative of something awesome, like yo 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 yo, that bitch's ass be da bomb, yo. And ring, being like that rash you got from one of those dancers in Baron you decide to jump. So maybe a bomb ring is like having great sex, but a herpetic ring-shaped rash that results from it.
Or maybe it's jewelry that explodes.
No, I don't think so.
The ring!
God, I hate you.
Seifer Almasy. What? Did you think it was really going to be Squall? Yeah, that's cute. Seifer was the reoccurring antagonist in Final Fantasy VIII. Everything about him mirrored Squall. Seifer wore white, Squall wore black. Seifer was blonde, Squall was brunette. Seifer had a penis, Squall had a vagina. Speaking of penis, Seifer was a dick. A royal dick. He was like this big bully that had no merit. You just wanted to kick him in the nads, you know? Then there comes a moment that elevates him to badass status. He cuts a summon in half. Son of a bitch! He must have bloody behemoth-sized balls. If he's going to stick a gunblade forward, not even swing the son of a bitch, and cut a summon in half. How do you fuck with that? Really? Yeah, you look busy, and I'm gonna go ahead and mosey on out. You have fun, though. Cutting things in half. Sephiroth. I know what some of you are thinking. Why isn't he number 1? Because he's not worthy of it. And don't bully me about it, or I swear to God, I'll kick you in the nuts. I'm never gonna get sick of that. Sephiroth is such a badass that he's probably the very first guy to transcend from the video game level and partake in sexual experiences. I've seen some shit, okay? I've seen some shit involving Sephiroth and some small Asian girl. And what's with that whole crying thing they do when they're getting hammered? I don't actually understand it. It sounds like they're in pain. That would do nothing for me. I'd probably be stopping every 10 seconds going, Are you okay? You're crying. You sound like you're crying. Why do you sound like an 11-year-old crying? Why would I know what an 11-year-old sounds like when she's crying? Don't call the cops.
Could you have a seat over in that chair, please? I'm Chris Hansen.
You were given a slight taste of his badassery when he joined your party during Cloud's flashback. What's funny is that he was so kick-ass then, and that was like 5-10 years before the game even started. And if you cut to the very core of what makes Sephiroth a badass, you need only to see this. Magus. Magus was the initial antagonist in Chrono Trigger. He's a magic-wielding mystic hell-bent on revenge. Magus is the best. He has the best spell in the game, Dark Matter, which sounds badass. He has a really awesome weapon, Doomsickle. Also sounds badass. Simply put, he beats the baby Jesus out of everyone else in the game. He uses lightning too, which Chrono uses, but his is better, because he's Magus. Magus. Ice too, the same that Marl uses, but she's not Magus. Magus. Fire too, which Luca uses, but it's not as good since she's not Magus. Magus. Now I can't use dual attacks, but really, who gives a shit? He has Dark Matter. I mean, you might as well call that spell Can of Fuck You in the Ass, because that's really what it did. The number one thing about Magus is he goes to exquisite trouble to summon the very thing that could take out the planet Earth just so he can kick its ass. How badass is that, really? So if it's not Magus, and it's not Sephiroth, who is number 1? I think some of you may have already guessed this. The number 1 badass of them all, Kefka Palazzo. For those of you who don't know who Kefka Palazzo is, he is the primary antagonist of Final Fantasy III. His initial look kind of reminds me of the Joker, which only augments his badassery. Even his final form takes up 3 screens. It's also believed that it's representative of the Divine Comedy. The bottom being hell, the middle being purgatory, and the top being heaven. Eventually, he becomes a god. And his target isn't to destroy the world, take it over. He wants to destroy hope. I mean, who else gets up in the morning and goes, I think I'm gonna wage war on an abstract notion.
We stand together to win the war against terrorism.
So maybe that was a bad example. Kefka, I give you my salute. For those of you who thought it was a complete crime that Sephiroth didn't make number 1, I challenge you to meet me on the corner of Stone and Jameson. We'll have the Sephiroth fanboys on one side, and I call upon you Kefka fans to line up behind me. And then we'll have a fucking showdown. I'm talking an all-out war. And then we'll see who deserves the #1 title. And then we'll take on Hope.